Okay, we have the blue Mordor player Sauron versus the red Man of the West player ROTWK in the first game. That's the beautiful map Forts of Brunnen. It's a map from BFME 2, and hopefully it will be also added to the official version of the patch 2.02 version 9.0, which eventually will come before the Christmas time this year. Hey Catybet, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Zero High, welcome. Hi my friend. Okay, double slaughterhouse coming up for Mordor, and we have 2 farms coming up for the man player ROTWK. I mean, man feels really strong in the beta, but the way the man faction feels strong, it's actually kind of odd. You know, it's kind of like spam depending. So we see most of the time man faction playing with not 1 but 2 barracks, spamming soldiers and pikemen almost exclusively for the first 50 minutes into the game, and then they will get some Gondor Knights on the field and eventually some Rangers later on, but it doesn't involve too much hero play. Because whenever we see heroes, they kind of feel underwhelming. At least that's my point of view. Maybe I'm wrong, but I haven't been proven otherwise yet. But maybe that's gonna be the game which will prove me wrong. We have 3 farm into the stable, and we have Tavern opening. That's like the most biggest change actually in the beta. They added this building new to the patch 2.02. Now you can recruit the Corsairs right off the bat, and they're also kind of improved a little bit. They're a bit more tanky. They cost only 350 each, but whenever you build additional taverns, your Corsairs are going to become also cheaper for each tavern you will have. Come on now. And the most crazy part about them is actually the pillage, you know. There's like a unit which kind of feels semi-tanky, has the firebomb, which has like a cooldown, but the cooldown is kind of really low, so you can actually use it multiple times. And whenever you deal damage, you also steal money from them. But it's called Missing, controlled by special ability Corsair Pillage. Hey Arjun, welcome. Okay, the Corsairs are moving forward. Pirates. Come on, pirates.
Come on now.
Oh, the Gondor Knights are here. You shall not enter Gondor, as Aragorn would like to see. And the thing about them is they feel also kind of tanky in my opinion. Look, they will need like 4 tramples or something to be killed, you know? Which, of course, is time consuming for the man player. Because you cannot just trample them once or twice and you will be good. No, that's not the case. You need to trample them multiple times. And easy peasy defended though, but the farm has been still chunked, and you see this +1/+1 symbol. And the thing about the pillage is, it's not about the money you gain, it's about the money your opponent is also losing. So when you get +1, your opponent gets also -1, you know? It's like a win-win situation. The stable will be demolished after the second Gondor Knight, but the Mordor player will still need to get some Easterlings on the field to counter them. In the meantime, we get 1 more Corsair sent forward. The Gondor Knights are not in position, they are kind of far away. Rallying Call is going to be used, they will be used for offensive purposes, but he was able to see the Corsairs and now he's retreating. But they will just use fire bombs, and you see, you get pillage from the fire bombs. It even chunks the building. The farm is going to be definitely taken down. The Gondor Knights are not going to be dead in time, and that's the thing about them, you know. Even with Rallying Call, you need to, with the Rallying Call against non-buffed units, you need at bare minimum still 2 tramples, which kind of is a proof that they are quite tanky. And also their damage output is kind of nutty, you know. They can like literally burst down those buildings in a few seconds. And he was able to defend himself too. That's good. He needs more Easterlings though, because there are 2 Gondor Knights and they can dance around the Rosie, and you cannot really, you know, catch them. But remember, for ROTWK, it's gonna be very important to keep those Corsairs alive, because he demolished the stable. A lot of harassment. He might be able to finish this, but he needs to be careful. There are too many pikemen. What is he doing? Oh, that hurts, man. This one is gonna be useless now. You need to send him all the way back to the fortress. Otherwise, you know, the 3 units in the battalion, they will need ages to deal economical damage. And now you need to build a well because they're only level 1. In the Gondor Knight strategy didn't really pay off. Yes, he was able to kill a couple of Corsairs, but he wasn't able to touch the eco from Mordor at all. And you know what's scary for Mordor? The Corsairs are actually making the weak early game from Mordor faction kind of decent and very strong in many matchups. And remember, Mordor is already very strong in the late game, so buffing the early game, which was weak from the Mordor faction, will make them like a beast faction in early game, mid game, and in late game anyway, because they were already strong in the late game with the Black Riders, with the, you know, 2 Fell Beast, Witch King, Mouth of Sauron, but at least this slaughterhouse is going to be destroyed. Okay, in the meantime, the Corsairs are moving forward. They will be able to creep this. Nice offensive slaughterhouse here on the spot to get a bit more command points and resource income. This is going to be defended, but again, it's important for you to understand. When they get the chance to attack, they make you lose money. Like a tankier version in a much more improved version of the White Men of Dunland. So they can do everything what the White Men of Dunland can do. I mean, of course, they have no torches, but they have the fire bombs in exchange. But they're also way tankier than them. Okay, so you know they are also kind of fast, you know, their movement speed. I think they are way faster than the soldiers of Gondor. Come on now. Oh, nice positioning with the pikemen. That will be enough to force the Gondor Knights to retreat. I mean, here's a well. He's building the second one too. And I get asked quite a lot why they are building two wells. Do they stack? The answer is yeah, of course they stack. This way we can heal them up way faster. There is like a percentage respawn timer. So the amount of time the well needs to make your units respawn. You know, the dead units from the battalion. And when you have two of them, you will, you know, make it twice as fast pretty much, you know. That's pretty good. Hey, Mr. Balin, welcome. The Mordor player is kind of retreating, but also at the same time he's creeping quite a lot. If you take a look into the current command points and power points after the first couple of minutes into the game, we can see that Ave is up to 550 command points. That comes to... Oh, the fire bombs, you see the fire bombs also, like that's the thing, they are also very good against units, because you can firebomb the clump, and if they stay on the clump, on the fire ground, it's like the arrow volley, so they will take a lot of damage over time. They will burn alive. The farm is going to be found and taken down. Beautiful trampoline coming into the Corsairs. The flank damage was actually hitting them quite hard. Almost one-shotted. Close but not close enough. The Easterlings now the punishment. The Gondor Knights are forced once again to retreat, and the Corsairs were even able to survive that. The man player keeps pushing though. He has a very strong push here with pikemen, soldiers and a couple of archers. And the Mordor player has no cavalry until now. And all you gotta do now at this point of the game is to kill the one Rohan spearman unit, and guess what? The Corsairs are countering the pikemen too. 475 command points, the man player's command points kept. He's up to 6 power points in total after the rallying call. And his opponent, the Mordor player, is up to 775 command points, which is really impressive. And he's up to almost 6 power points after the Tainted Land in the Eye of Sauron. And this one is gonna be defended too, with the Haradrim Lancers. And defending this will now give the Mordor player a chance of a counterattack. And he has 7 power points in the bank, which means he can, if he wants to, pick up the War Chant and combine this with the Eye of Sauron to have like a really strong push.
Eagles are birds. Ahoy will eat Sauron's nutskulls and fell beast.
True. Okay, 8 power points in the bank. That comes the big push. He has a lot of Easterlings too, but the Corsairs are so much faster that you need to kind of micro. Look how fast they are. That's kind of crazy, dude. Who needs cavalry in 2022 when you can have those sprint running Corsairs of Umbar? The farm is going to be demolished. Here's the Eye of Sauron for the leadership part. Does men have the rallying call? No, it's on cooldown. So basically, if Mordor decides to go for the War Chant, he will have double buffed army against non-buffed and non-leadership army from the man faction. And this one is going to be very scary, because he has like 3 pikemen. When he micros well, unlike this one, he should be able to protect most his Corsairs. Okay, in the meantime, this one has been taken down. The pikemen, they are going to get knocked down. The Lancers should be in a fine spot. The level 2 farm is going to be the target of the Mordor player. Even if you repair this, that's not going to change anything. It's literally getting lit up. Mordor in the meantime unlock 10 power point, will get the industry and use it right off the bat. I mean, he's up to 900 command points. Look at the dominance of Mordor against man faction in this map. I'm telling you, look, even though, I mean, think about this matchup, think about this game you know, like only about this game, but we have seen in this game, the man player was actually countering the Corsairs. So he was building up the stable to just counter the Corsairs, but the counter wasn't even that strong. And that's the problem, you know? The fire bombs on the ground, the rangers are forced to disengage from Corsairs. Spam them all the way, you know, he's just spamming them, abusing them hardcore, man. He's abusing them so hard. The man player went for the Lone Tower special summon, which will be used, of course, defensively. He needs defense more than anything else. The builder might be in trouble. I mean, the rangers are dealing some sort of damage, but they're always forced to disengage, because again, Corsairs have the chance to make them run. Yes, yes, of course. So basically in every tournament we are hosting, there is going to be a cash prize for the top 3 spots. So even the loser of this one is going to win some money. It's not a lot because it's like a very small cash prize tournament with 50 bucks. The winner is going to get 35. The second place is going to get 10. And the third place is going to get $5. I mean, you get $5 if you lose this because it's a very small tournament. But normally our tournaments have way bigger cash prizes. Okay, I mean, the Mordor has this under his control. Like 400 command points against 800, double the command points. It's kind of crazy. I mean, to be honest, it's kind of also about the matchup a little bit, you know? Because that's new. We couldn't see this in the version 8.5, right? Because that's not gonna happen. You have no Corsairs. I mean, you have Corsairs, but nobody was recruiting them because you needed the Haradrim Palace level 2. Now it's much easier for you to recruit them right from the beginning of the game without getting any building to level 2, which is a huge requirement, especially at the start. And with the tavern now, Mordor has like literally like unlimited amount of opportunities. You can build Haradrim Palace.
This will be a night to remember.
You can build Haradrim Palace, you can build the Orc Pit, you can build the Troll Cage, delete it after the first troll, you can go now for the tavern. Like, I believe there is not a single faction that has that many opportunities to start the game with, unlike the Mordor faction. A push coming from the top and from the bottom, and also from the middle at the same time. And you know, that's the way you want to play when you have a lead. When you know you have way more command points available than your opponent, what you can do is split your army a little bit, you know? And Catty Bad with the 5 gifted sub to the channel. What the heck? Thank you very much, man. Thank you. Thank you, man.
Bat just gifted 5 subs. What a pirate.
Thank you so much for the huge support. Really means a lot. Thank you. Thank you, man. Show me the winner of this get $5 since the losers final. No, the loser is gonna get 5. The winner is gonna get at bare minimum 10, because the winner is gonna move on to the grand finals. And even if he loses, he will be the second spot, and he will get 10. But the winner has the chance, of course, to win the tournament. So in either case, we will have a rematch between either Sauron and Measure of X, or Avi against Measure of X. We have the Black Riders, boys. Oh my goodness. They are so crazily strong, man. Again, you know, like the normal thing, in normal case, what happens is that units are either tanky, but they don't deal too much damage, or they are dealing a lot of damage, but they are being squishy. And Black Riders are like the exception to this rule. They are dealing a lot of damage, and they are also being at the same time tanky. GG is gonna be called from Avi, and that's gonna be the end of the game number 1. Against the power of Mordor, there can't be a victory. We have the blue Isengard player Sauron versus the red Mordor player Avi. You should join with him, Gandalf. You should join with Sauron. That would be wise, my friends. That's what Sauron used to say, but he changed his mind apparently, and he is trying to go against the Ring Master, the true Lord of the Rings himself. 2 furnaces coming up for Isengard and 2 slaughterhouses coming up for Mordor. I mean, we have seen now the Corsairs also the other day against the Man faction, but I'm actually curious how they're gonna be working out against Isengard. And you know what's good? Whenever we get to Mordor against any faction, we will get the chance to see the impact of the Corsairs in this specific matchup. We have seen in the previous game, they were actually kind of nutty against the Man faction. Man faction was struggling, but again, that's only a beta version. That's not the fixed version. Like, that's not gonna be the end of the Corsair. It's like, of course, a new unit, and they are trying to balance it out. I think they've already nerfed it a couple of times. Maybe they will need another nerf. And we will also now get the chance to see them against something like Uruk-hai.
Build me an army worthy of Mordor.
Builds me an army worthy of Mordor. It's gonna be a work pack opening. I'm curious about the performance of the work packs against the Corsairs. I'm very curious. A new power is right. Uruk-hai coming up next is the second building. Okay, so What happens if they DC in the middle of the game? It depends on the situation. Most of the time, when it's like literally in the middle of the game and the game is not decided yet, it's not in anyone's favor, then we will make a remake. But if it happens and somebody is clearly ahead in, you know, having a big advantage, then the one is gonna get the win. Yeah, Corsairs. Corsairs of Umbar. Bully. This one is so dumb. I mean, okay, round two. Oh, it's gonna be finally happening. It looks like they will lose to the second work pack though. But it's gonna be also a close fight, actually. Like the one Corsair almost 1v2'd them. I mean, this isn't gonna take you ages. You cannot defend this. There is one more Corsair coming. And this is like the craziest thing in the world, in my opinion. Like the firebomb chunking. And it also steals your money, you know? It chunks the building a lot. Would have thought that the game between Sauron and Ave would be played in the losers bracket. The loser in big letters. That's, you know, that's, pay attention to the details. True. You will be able to protect this too. I mean, so far at least Mordor wasn't able to deal any economical damage. I mean, he was able to force him to demolish this one, but he couldn't finish him himself. Uruks. I mean, that's kind of scary, dude. Like, how? I mean, I get it, they are expensive, but so are the Uruks. Uruks are also more expensive than them. And you see the impact of the fire bombs on the ground. It's kind of crazy, you know, the amount of impact this actually has in the game. And they will be able to deal with the Uruks too. And in the meantime, the warplanes are able to successfully harass and destroy one of the slaughterhouses. Again, against Mordor, it's very important to hurt him in the beginning of the game. But so is Isengard. Isengard is also having like a rough early game. But remember, the Isengard got also a couple of buffs. For example, the Uruk Pikemen now, they cost only 350 each. They used to cost 400 each. It's like a significant buff to the Uruk Pikemen. They are now way cheaper. It's actually 50 is a lot, you know. From 400 down to 350 is actually a very, very huge buff to the Pikemen of Isengard. And Isengard needed that, to be honest with you. Because Isengard's early game is kind of rough, as your units are always so expensive.
This is no rabble of mindless orcs. These are Urukai. Their armor is thick and their shields broad.
Okay, this has been destroyed too. That's very good from Sauron. And that's gonna be a big push. So now they are sandwiched. Easterlings from behind, Corsairs from the front. Uruks, of course, one of the tankiest swordmen in the game, because you have the chance for the shield wall formation and also the whole ground stance, and that makes you quite tanky. But the burst is kind of crazy, you know. The burst is kind of crazy. They can throw bombs, and look, it's loading quite fast too. I believe the cooldown is like what 20 seconds. The furnace is gonna be taken down. He's shooting with the bombard, but it's not gonna be enough to save the furnace. So after the first couple of minutes into the game, we can see that Mordor is up to 450 and Isengard is down to 350 command points. Even though Corsairs, like, this is scary, man. Like, this is scary part. But why is he demolishing it immediately? I don't think you need to demolish. What you need are the Warg Riders, I believe, you know, to trample them. Like, when it comes to deal with the Corsairs, from what I've seen in this game so far, is you need to make sure to burst them, to kill them in a second before they get the chance to shoot those firebombs. Because even if you kill them after the firebomb is being shot, they will be able to chunk your building, and like 2-3 firebombs is going to be enough to kill every single resource building in the game. One more push is incoming. But the crazy part is their speed, man. They are literally, look, their movement speed. They are so much faster than the Easterlings too. I would like to know their speed difference between this, you know, these units in compared to other Mordor units. And even the Uruk pit losing a quarter of their HP, of its HP, is one of the tankiest production buildings in the game. More pushing, and pillage 2, +1, +1, +1, and that's at the same time also -1, -1, -1 for Sauron's money. Losing the Uruk pit is gonna be quite painful. There comes the firebombs from the other Corsair. The Uruks are burning, they have to reposition. And he's not gonna be even bothering saying GG, he's gonna just leave the game. Malone 3 into the barracks opening, and Mordor opening with 2 slaughterhouses. I think maybe you could try to dodge the fire. Maybe, yeah. Could you explain something to me, please? In Battle of Helm's Deep, it was almost nothing but swordsmen at the front of the Uruk army. Why did the ladders and ram him much later? I don't know, man. Which one? You are talking about the patch 2.22? Or about the film? I mean, they were kind of not smart. I think what Saruman did, he was actually sending the entire Isengard army forward to Helm's Deep, but he forgot that ladders are not able to keep with the speed of the Uruks, and that ended up happening, you know. The Uruks are not, they are strong, but they are not the smartest. Okay, the Mordor play is gonna open with the tavern, and that's what I like to see, because now we will get the chance to see the Corsairs against also the Elven units, which should be like a classic counter, I believe. The Lorien archers should be able to counter them, but I'm more curious about their tankiness, how tanky they will actually become, you know. So we will have Pikemen opening, and again, Pikemen, they don't stand a chance against Corsairs anyway, because they are meant to be countered by the Corsairs. But with the Pikemen opening, the Elven player will try to creep this troll at the bottom left side, with the help of the Builder. The Builder is the beat. The Orc Pit coming up next. No Haradrim Paris for eventual Lancers, and we will have the Corsairs. Like, overall, I believe they are kind of cool. I like the diversity in the gameplay of Mordor, and you now being able to open with like multiple different openings. But I think when it's too strong, then Mordor is gonna always open with the tavern. It's not gonna be like a situational building, it's gonna be the primary building. They will be always using in every single situation, and I believe the 2.02 team has to be kind of careful about that. You know, to not make them to the one unit Mordor has to eventually recruit at the beginning of each game, you know? Okay, he's creeping at the bottom left side. We will now see archers against Corsairs. Again, they are supposed to be countering them. It's going to be a 2v1 situation too. But I'm more curious about the fire bombs against the Malone 3. He's going to be waiting. The creep is going to be secured at the bottom left. That's good, because now he will get a chance to capture the inn and recruit some peasants. He's coming. The question is, they're also having a lot of vision control actually. Look at the shroud revealing from them. They actually see a lot. What the heck? They see actually very a lot. The Malone 3 is going to be chunked. I mean, they are demolishing, so they don't lose money to the firebombs, I believe, because it would chunk. In the meantime, the Corsairs against the Pikemen in the Porcupine formation. Again, they are supposed to be countering the Pikemen, and they will also be able to kill them slowly but surely. Again, the Pikemen in Porcupine formation, super tank units. There comes the backup though. And to counter this, you need either Lancers or you need some strong hero, like Gothmog, for example, could be also one of the heroes that can counter that. Hey, Obtain Humanity, welcome. Tuli, welcome. Turgon, welcome. Nim, welcome. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, appreciate it. Welcome to the finals of the losers bracket. The winner of this one is gonna fight in the grand finals against me, ShadowFX, in the best of 7 to determine the champion of this one, and then we're gonna start planning the World Championship 2022, which is gonna be, of course, much bigger in compared to this one. We are aiming to get at least 64 people, up to 128, and have, you know, lots of fun for a few months actually to finish this tournament with a crazy format, new maps, and also lots of streams and fun. Insta-demolish, to not lose money. But the fact that they can do that is kind of crazy. Archers seem to be a good counter to them when they could catch up, but they are not able to catch them. They are just too fast, and that's like the craziest part about them in my opinion. Like, the speed is very important, you know, advantage you get, because you have the chance to kite them, so you can keep running, they cannot catch to you. And these are Elven units, remember, they are fast units. Imagine you play this way against dwarves. What can dwarves do against Corsairs then? You understand the problem? Because the dwarven units can never catch them. Let your bow sink. Okay, at the bottom left side, he's gonna creep this with the units, and also this one at the same time.
You have my sword. But
the Corsairs strategy kind of forcing the Elven player to play extremely passive. Thank you so much for the follow, Ridiculous Wrath. Appreciate it. Means a lot. Is Mordor the best faction, or which one is in your opinion? It's hard to answer this. I mean, the question, it depends on the matchup, it depends on the map too. And again, we are on the beta version of a new patch, of the new version of the patch 2.02, and we have not seen enough games yet. But from what I've seen so far, I would say Mordor is the way to go. It has to be also the most fun faction too, right? Because you have like, again, so many opportunities. You have like crazy strong early game now with the Corsairs. You can later on get heroes like Gothmog, Mouth of Sauron on the field. In very late game you have the chance to recruit 2 Fell Beasts in the Witch King. In Black Riders. Seems to be the overall most reliable faction. On the water they don't burn. Oh, it's actually like a great area to fight at, in my opinion. Orc archers shooting from behind. One more Corsair coming, and they don't also take too much damage. I mean, okay, archers actually kind of countering them a little bit. Would you stream all matches in 128 man tournament? I wouldn't be able to stream all games, but the way it's gonna work is about to increase the activity too. Basically, we will have like a group stage, and only a few people are gonna be able to advance from each group stage. But at the end of the day, I would be at least able to stream every single day, like for 4 or 5 hours, which should be quite fun, you know, for like a month. I would join if I wasn't super busy. It's not gonna happen now, Optin. It's gonna be happening in about a month, you know, like November the 1st or the first weekend of November. We're gonna start. Okay, the Alvin player is kind of playing it smart and slow, and I believe that's the way you want to do it. But again, kind of scary at the same time, because you automatically end up giving lots of money, lots of time to Mordor. And Mordor doesn't have only Corsairs, you know, he has also way stronger units later on. And earlier, I remember like a couple of versions ago, Mordor's early game's purpose was to survive, right? Because Mordor would get bullied from any faction, and you would see Mordor being like this turtle of a faction, basically defending himself only to get to the point in which you can get industry unlocked, and you can get black orcs, a little bit stronger units, and then turn the game around. But the way I see Mordor nowadays is the bully faction at the beginning, which forces the opponent player to defend, you know? Now it's the other way around. Big war giant, big rallying call, Corsairs, only one of them, I believe. Should be throwing the bombs on the archers, in my opinion. Looking for a trample, bad trample. He's gonna get the chance on trampling and killing the orc archers though behind. Lancer is coming. Pikemen need to rotate Pikemen. No, beautiful trample. Nice. So, and Mordor should be able to dominate this fight. In the meantime, the counterattack. And we have Easterlings, Corsairs here. The firebomb is available. And one Lancer is pushing from the bottom side. The Elven player is forced to retreat with the cavalry because the infantry couldn't make it out. They are dead. And they are not shooting the firebombs, but they are bullying the pikemen. I want to see the damage, but they always end up demolishing the building in time. And again, if you don't demolish the building, you will lose money from the pillage of your opponent. You will make him automatically, unwillingly, unintentionally more rich. And he already has a lot of money. 650 command points. Look at the money from Mordor. And remember, in this beta version that we are using right now, you get more faster money too, right? And I believe, and what I've seen also in the games with Shadowfax and Sauron, is it kind of rewards the camping playstyle too a little bit. You know what I mean? Because then you can sit on like 500 command points, but end up having enough money to actually make whatever you want, you know? And for that reason, we were able to see in a couple of games like Aragorn and Gandalf at the same time, which you would normally never be able to afford earlier. But they buffed the resource income, so now what can happen is you set like 500 command points with like, I don't know, marketplace or industry or whatever, and you don't need more than that, you know? Almost 7 power points in the bank, and elves are dropping down to 400 command points only. What do you think about the TV show? I don't know, it's meh. I don't want to say too much bad stuff about it, but it could be done much better. I know the opinions are different. Some people are enjoying the show, some people they hate it. I'm more like neutral. I don't hate it, but I also don't love it. You know, I mean, I'm like in the middle. For a Lord of the Rings series, it's really underwhelming. It's not very good because Lord of the Rings is such an amazing book or trilogy to cover, and it's not coming close to the level of the trilogy, of course. But for the Amazon series, it's okay, you know. I wish I can join. I mean, you can see, Optane, you know, Again, when you join, you don't have to play every single day, you know what I mean? Like when you can play once a week or twice a week, it should be all fine. Mouth of Sauron. The more people, the better it is, you know. The idea is to have like a crazy active month in Rise of the Witch King and also in Battle for Middle-earth 1 at the same time. So we're gonna have the World Championship will be hosted simultaneously for both the games. I mean, of course, it's gonna be easy for us to get players for Rise of the Witch King because the game has a better and more active multiplayer scene. But I would be happy if we can get like 32 people also participating in Battle for Middle-earth 1, you know. It's definitely possible. Okay, Linden's we're gonna see now, and also kind of abusable in this version. I think there is like a bug in which they get a huge damage output with the Silverton arrows, and it should be fixed for the upcoming version if I'm not mistaken. And that's gonna be a counter though to Lancers. And Elven players kind of grouping up in the middle. And to be honest, also Elves feel incredibly strong. I don't know why they feel strong, because they didn't get changed from 8.5. I believe they are still pretty much the same faction. They didn't get any buffs, but they feel really, really strong, man. I would say Mordor and Elves are the two factions with the highest win rates in this tournament so far. The build has been killed. Level 1, he's chilling. Not able to attack. Mordor is coming, the Malon tree is going to be taken down, the mist is going to be used to debuff the enemy units. We also see far side on the units. There comes the firebomb and the Elven player has to rotate. The fire on the ground, as you can see, is chunking. And that's why I believe the Corsairs are not only an early game unit, but also in the mid to late game they can be actually very, very efficient, as they can nullify enemy leadership bonuses. Beautiful trampoline coming from the Lancers. Kind of clumping, there are no pikemen, no problem. In those situations, you need to manually target the pikemen when you are playing Elves with the archers. And the second you kill the pikeman, you can, you know, kind of clean up the area completely with the Lancers, just the way he did. But Mordor is coming once again with a bigger force from the top side. The Mouth of Sauron is hitting level 2.5. In level 4, a massive power spike. In the Tavern, once again, like mentioned in the previous game, the more you have of them, the better it is to make your Corsairs cheaper. In this case, they will cost only 297 instead of 350. And I don't know how many you can build from them to get the maximum discount, but 2 of them and the 15% discount is actually kind of crazy, because you can get them for less than 300 resources. And from their value, what I've seen in those games, they are definitely more valuable than 300 resources. Trust me on that one, you know. The Malon tree is going to be taken down level 2 with the pikemen, should be doable. In the meantime, counterattack attempt with the Lancers coming from the one side. The builder has been taken down from Sauron once again. Pikemen are not rotating, they are kind of clumping against their own building. And losing 2 builders in like 30 seconds into the game is kind of tough, you know. It hurts. It hurts. Multiple slaughterhouses next to each other just to increase the command points, but this one is the most important one, right? Double Haradrim Palace, double Orc Pit, and double Tavern. He's gonna be forced to build some expansions around the fortress to protect the buildings around the fortress as Elves they keep going. And Mouth of Sauron is very, very low. He will be forced to disengage. And that's gonna be also very important Malon tree, this one. That's a level 2. Armory getting level 2. He's gonna get the Elven armor and not going for level 3 for the Silverton arrows yet. And he keeps going. He keeps going. Hi there, did I miss something with Sauron being in loser bracket? Yeah, you missed the stream from 2 days ago. It was actually crazy. Erasha. I don't want to spoil too much. Maybe you want to rewatch it. The last stream on my channel. Elves and Mordor as strong, so logical choice would be nerfed to dwarves. Dwarves didn't get nerfed though. Uh-oh, he's paying attention. Okay. Uh-oh. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. Okay. Not even close, baby. Oh, does he want to finish him off? What? Okay, he's gonna be able to get in safety. Elves have the control of this game for now. 10 power points in the bank, 875 command points. But again, Mordor is building multiple slaughterhouses next to each other. So even though his command points are looking great, but trust me, his eco is not that great. You know what I mean? Again, he has industry buffed level 3 slaughterhouse, which is pretty good. But there comes the eagle summon in the tower, is in the wrong place. I mean, the Haradrim Palace is able to shoot, so is the level 3 furnace, level 3 slaughterhouse, but he needed like 2 towers around this area, and the eagles would have been killed way sooner. That's minus 100 command points, by the way. look how many slaughterhouses he's building next to each other. You see that? 4. Just to get as many command points as he potentially can. In the meantime, the Elven player is up to 650 command points, but most importantly, he's up to almost 7 power points after the Eagle Summon. That means he's getting closer and closer to the point in which he can get to the 25. 18 power points away, which is definitely doable. The Eagle is doing a phenomenal job, you know, dealing a lot of economical damage. That's the main purpose. And the Mordor player is up to 12 power points. He still needs 3 power points for his own worm. And the worm can definitely deal some damage. Look at the layout. You can eventually destroy the level 2 stable. Maybe even this building you can destroy, as well as this Malone tree. That's the most important one. But you need to first of all get the power points for that. Archers bullying Haradrim archers on the other side. They should be stronger than those units. And 13 power points now. The slaughterhouse, the Malone tree has been destroyed. He keeps going, he keeps moving. One more. Pillage helps a lot, a lot. Stealing money is the best thing ever, you know. You are a thief, as Gollum would like to see. The Elven player is retreating, but that should be actually punished in my opinion. There are 0 pikemen around, so like 2 lancers from you should be able to clean this up, no problemo. 14 power points. Here's the Elven armor on the lancers. There comes the firebomb. It chunks the building, but not half the damage like they are saying. It's not the truth. It's like a quarter, a little bit more than a quarter. And 15 power points in the bank. So the worm is going to be unlocked. We will be chosen now from the spellbook of Mordor. And he might be summoning it on top of this army. Yeah. It knocks them down. It doesn't deal too much damage, of course. It's not like a Watcher, but he can burn them right after. That's very, very good. And now he will be repositioned. And that's the most important Malone tree. You need to eventually, what you can do is you can try to aim this one and it will automatically destroy. Look, the damage output from the worm, it's kind of crazy. He will be able to kill. No, he's wasting the time on the archers. Just finish off the building. That's the barracks number 2 though. I mean, he has 1 more barracks still. But again, should be able to almost one-shot this thing anyway. The Malone tree. The archers are killing him though. Oh, why this one though? You need like 3 hits to kill this one. And also not using the aggressive stance for more DPS. Maybe with aggressive stance you can 2-shot it. I don't know. But he will be able to destroy the armory. That's good. But for Sauron in the meantime, level 4. He's pushing from the bottom. And... oh... aggressive? Can he do it? Yeah, he did it. Actually, the worm was still doing a phenomenal job, boys. Holy moly. The Elven player is down to 625 command points, but keep in mind that he's at 14 power points in total. After the Eagle Summon, he's like 11 away from his 25. And 25 is a game-winning thing in the game, as you know. The Mist will be used. And Mist is also debuffing them, and I'm making the Eye of Sauron pretty much useless, because Eye is leadership, it gets negated. But you can, you know, it's like a very questionable Mist too, right? Because there is literally nothing for Mordor to gain. So when you use Mist in a spot like that, I think it's wasted, because your opponent can just disengage like he does. But these Lancers though, they're actually doing a phenomenal job. Harassing, he's gonna have to rebuild the armory to get the chance to upgrade them with more stuff. We need more Pikemen. But they are, with heavy armor and forge blades, they are doing a phenomenal job, you know? Super tanky, hitting like a truck, all that good stuff. Oh, be careful, Mouth of Sauron! Okay, he should be fine. Barely. 19 power points in the bank. We are getting closer and closer. Mordor is actually still far away, you know what I mean? The builder has been killed. That's the 3rd builder. I see him losing. Maybe he even lost more than that. You see multiple slaughterhouses being next to each other. A bad trample into the units, into the pikemen. But Mordor is still so behind in the power point department. 22 power point against 10. We are 3 power points away for elves, for the 25, for the flood. And we are actually 15 power points away for the Mordor player, for his own 25. Be careful, he has blades on them. Archers behind, hiding around the trees. And there is another force. Avi is actually playing this very, very good. He was playing it very carefully at the beginning of the game against Corsairs, making sure that they cannot harass you for free. Because if you let them, they will just kill you in a second. And Mordor made a mistake of not getting enough Lancers on the field. I believe that was the answer to this question of the archers. And maybe even a Felbeast could be phenomenal, because let's be honest, the problem making units in this case for elves against Mordor are the Lancers. And when you have a Felbeast on the field, you can actually kind of shut them down. You know, you can make them kind of useless. Be careful. Oh, trample. Juicy power points. 25 versus 13. So he's so far away actually. Mordor is trying to push back, and look at the layout too, right? And that's the thing. Like when you play against factions like, you know, Isengard or goblins or elves or even men with the earthquake or dwarves, then you have like a layout like that. It's, you know, you kind of handicap yourself, because one flat here, you kill this, like, or you can use it this way, and you can kill this 4 buildings in one single shot. Oh, no pikeman, but he's too low. Beautiful splash, beautiful, but he's so low, man. Pikemen need to get in position. You can use also the barbed arrow shot, but he's kind of in a bad spot. He's gonna doubt them, he's gonna debuff them, but he's gonna die right after. There comes the firebombs on the ground, no pikeman backup. Heal is gonna be used from the Elven player, 17 power points in the bank. The flood is gonna be unlocked from the spellbook. He's just waiting for the perfect opportunity to use it. Because ideally when you use 25s like that, you wanna have like a backup, you know, like a follow-up, basically. You wanna destroy the buildings, and then you wanna commit to the area to deal even more damage with your lancers eventually. So there is no reason of rushing it. You bring like 3 lancers here, you use the flood, and then you have even the chance to commit against the fortress. Because what you can do is you can use it from this to this area, so you can kill this tree and hurt also the fortress a lot, right? And the player went actually for the... I mean, it's kind of questionable to use the arrow volley against lancers. He will hit it, but of course it's gonna delay his 25, right? He just invested another 10 power point, but he knows it. He's gonna demolish everything. That's gonna be the end of Mordor, and just like in the films, the good factions are going to dominate the Middle Earth. We have the blue Isengard player Sauron versus the red Man of the West player ROTWK. And ROTWK is planning to build a forward barracks this game, because that's what you can guess when he's sending the builder straight up forward. Let's see. I mean, this map is beautifully designed, by the way. I mean, from BFME 2, it's one of my most favorite maps in terms of designing. It just looks amazing. You know, the weather, the coloring, it's not too bright, it's not too dark. It's like the perfect eye-friendly color. I like that. Okay, the barracks coming up. And we have 2 furnaces into the Uruk pit. So the question is, can Isengard deal with that? I mean, normally the Uruks are way stronger than soldiers, so they will be able to win a 1v1 situation, but can they commit to this barracks early game without being too bullied at the beginning of the game? Because, you know, of course the Uruks are stronger, but they're also way more expensive. They cost more than almost double the price, you know, 250, not quite half double the price, but almost. They cost 400 in exchange, and the 150 resource difference at the beginning of the game is actually massive, you know, it's like crazy high. You will find out. Let's get this thing moving. He's also scouting with the builder. I wish he would have started with the war packs and killed this builder for being so bullying him, you know? Like, that's so risky what you are doing there. But also at the same time, the Isengard player is pretty much doing the same thing. He's also using the builder to scout. They're actually going into the park, you know, they want to have like a walk in the park. Okay? Destroy it. He's gonna demolish it immediately to get half the money back. You see plus 150 because the furnace costs 300, but when you demolish it before it gets damaged, you get 150 back. And when you know you can't protect it anyway, maybe that's the best way to go. Okay, we're gonna have a war-chanted unit against war-chanted unit. The Uruks, they should be able to catch them. They should be faster than them. Just chase them. Cheese. Yeah, the Uruks are stronger. Hey, this is no rabble of mindless orcs. These are Uruk-hai. But you see the pressure with the forward barracks, and the distance from this barracks to this area is pretty short, so you can bully him immediately. I think at this point the Isengard player needs to realize, okay, there has to be a forward barracks. That's the only way he can get that fast to my side of the map, and he needs to now find a way to deal with that. And during all this time, the area from man is untouched. Maybe, you know, what is the right play here? Do you just let the soldier do what he wanna do, or are you trying to get your Uruks to his own side and just kill all his farms instead? You know, I think you need to kind of make a choice. I would eventually ignore them and just send my Uruk forward, you know, and kill all these farms, all of them, because that's all the money he's getting in this game. He will be able to find the barracks now. but the soldier spam is too effective. He was able to kill every single furnace. There is only the Uruk pit left alone around the fortress. And smart move from Sauron building offensively. I think that's the way to go. Farm is going to be taken down. And the Gondor Knights, they will actually be able to have such a huge impact at this point of the game because Isengard has no pikemen. He has only crossbowmen and Uruk-hai. Finishes. Level 2. Bloodthirsty. Oh, hold on. It's new. I didn't know that, man. They added this new to the game too, to the patch 2.02 in the version 9. They made them level 2 so much stronger. They get 25% damage boost, like in BFME 2. I mean, this was a thing from BFME 2, by the way. When they get level 2, the orcs, they get like the bloodthirsty, they get a bit more damage. But they added also this to the BFME 2 Rise of the Witch King. That's pretty crazy. Going home, man. I didn't know that. I never checked that, to be honest with you. I'm blind. Okay. There is a soldier at the bottom. That is Isengard. We get to see so many Isengards today, but Isengard, my good friend, is missing every single one of them. Keep going. The Gondor Knights. Warchan is on cooldown. Riding Call is also on cooldown. Remember, they've been used at the same time. Fights between Uruks and soldiers. And he needs pikemen, because the Gondor Knights are planning to get to this area and trample them all. The pikeman is being recruited, but he might not be just in time. He's gonna go for the rallying call play. Beautiful. 3 soldiers and 1 Gondor Knight. It's gonna be a very big push, by the way. And this push might actually be quite hard to defend. In the meantime, the counterattack is happening. He will definitely need to use the Warchan defensively, otherwise he will just get overwhelmed. The Isengard play is able to win this. Oh, what a timing. What a timing. He needed them a little bit earlier. Beautiful trample into the crossbowman and Uruk-hai. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's the only production building he has too.
I will represent the men of Gondor.
Hartu, 84, thanks for the follow, appreciate it. Oh man. That means no production building anymore, boys. The Varax is still remaining on the field, so it's stable. Yes, Isengard will be able to deal some economical damage in return, but I think Isengard is in a much worse spot than Menace. Really bad spot. 350 command points against 350, but not having a Uruk pit on the field is so bad for you, you know? And look, he's even able to damage the fortress. The soldier spam. I'm telling you, we see more spam from Man faction nowadays than we see from the Goblin faction. He'll be able to clean this up too. The thing about the forward barracks is when it's working out, it's actually very strong, you know, it's super strong. He's gonna use the heal. The Uruk pit is up on the field, but it will be taken down right after. He's gonna go for the Creebian upgrade on the fortress, or is it the Creebian from the spell? It's the Creebian from the spellbook. No farms around this area. He's able to find every single one of them. And Man player has actually, what, 1 farm here, and that's all he got. But Isengard is not in a much better spot too, right? He has only 1 furnace. Like, he has 1 more somewhere, 250, 300, and maybe somewhere around this area. Yeah, that's all he got. The Uruk pit is gonna be taken down. You know, but I think what you could do, of course, it's too late now. Maybe get Berserkers on the field, you know? I think they are very good against Swordmen too. Like, 2 Berserkers can actually clean up to all those Swordmen of Gondor in a few seconds. But again, you need to get your Uruk pit to level 2, and for that reason, Isengard didn't have the time to do that in this game. Okay. I mean, they made the Bloodthirsty ability for Uruks for level 2, but I believe what they could be doing instead, maybe, I don't know if that would be a little bit too much, but maybe they could have done the Uruks a little bit cheaper, you know, like make them cost 350 or something. Because that's legit your only option at the beginning of the game. Yes, that would be kind of like a crazy buff to the Uruks at the beginning, but I believe they need that, because your competitors, your factions you are fighting against in exchange, like Ingmar, dwarves, even dwarves, you know, or you know, goblins, every faction, man, including Lorien warriors, including, they have like very cheap swordmen. And yes, your Uruks are stronger than them, but I think making the Uruks a little bit weaker, but also at the same time a bit cheaper, could be a good solution, so you can keep with the spam. Because at this point you cannot keep up with the spam at the beginning of the game. You can get outspammed. Yes, you have more quality, but the quality isn't as significant as a 2v1 situation. You will still lose 2 against 1 if they kind of surround you nicely, or they can ignore you completely and they can just destroy your buildings. Because this, again, I keep saying it because it's important. That's gonna be the biggest change of Rise of the Witch King since version 7. I've never seen a big patch like that with a lot of changes. And one of the changes they did was to make the resource buildings a bit weaker, so they can be destroyed way faster, and also you get more money early, in the mid game. Maybe that's the reason, I don't know. I mean, Man is also a very strong faction. Like, I believe Man is top 3 right now, with Mordor, Elves being top 1 and 2. Then I would say Man, Ingmar. Then the last 2 factions are Isengard and Goblins. Dwarves have also really bad matchups. Do you guys remember the game between Sauron and ROTWK in the finals? When we have seen Elves against Dwarves, and the Elven player was able to kite him with the Treebeard. He would never be able to catch Treebeard. Treebeard would just engage, disengage, throw rocks, engage, disengage. It was looking funny, but also frustrating at the same time. Pushing coming, he will be finally able to destroy the barracks. 350 command points against 400. I mean, the Man eco is kind of doomed too, right? He was actually losing every single farm. The Uruk pit is back up again for the 3rd time in this game. The Warchan and the Uruks, they will smash you in a one-on-one situation. They are also level 2 now with the Bloodthirsty. They will now get the chance to kill you even faster. Again, when they get the chance to fight a 1v1 situation, they are one of the strongest swordmen in the game. But you cannot just keep up with the speed of the spamming of the enemy factions. That's the bad thing about the situation for Isengard. But again, in the mid game, you have Devastation from your spellbook, and when you get through this early couple of minutes into the game, you should be the one faction which is the richest faction in the game, and you should be able to then keep up with the speed too. Then you can build like 2-3 Uruk pits, because then if you have enough money to keep the spam, you know. Beautiful. You will be able to save the barracks too again. Almost 10 power points. The Man player went for all the 5 power points from the spellbook. The fortress is healing up to full HP very soon. It was a mistake from Man to commit against that. It's just too tanky for a couple of soldiers to take it down. Rebuild is going to be used. It has been used around this area. The Isengard player is going to be losing this area. 350 command points only though. Like, he has only 3 farms outside. That's all he got. Steeple. And also the barracks. That's all the buildings the Man player has. And remember, he went for all the 5 power points from the spellbook. So 10 power point will give you the chance to go now for the White Man of Dunlin too. If you want White Man, you can go for it and combine this with your Uruks, Pikemen, to commit finally to the barracks or even the stable. But he will choose the Devastation, because what you can do with the Devastation money, and the reason why I like Devastation so much is because it gives you the money instantly without any delay, you know, like like Industry does, for example, or Field of Fires do, because they rely on the furnace to be around. And you need time, you need to protect it for the next couple of minutes to make enough value from it. While Devastation can give it to you instantly, which means you can get instantly an investment into something that can help you out of this current situation. And that can be Sharku, for example. Yeah, exactly. Sharku can be good because he has no pikemen, he has only soldiers and Gondor Knights, and Sharku can counter all of them. Okay, so he's trying to push forward, and that's what he needs to do, because Man player is kind of getting back into the game by building multiple resource buildings around the fortress. He's gonna get more and more command points. Isengard is down to 250 command points. He has only the 1 furnace under his control. He's kind of out of money, poor, you know, all the good stuff. Sharku is killing, of course, those soldiers. They have no chance against them. Level 3 already in a few minutes. Fight between Soldier and Uruk. Uruk's again stronger, but he needs money. And I think that's like a very awkward situation for the Isengard player. Yeah, he has money to get furnaces, but he has no tools to keep them. He keeps losing them. He needs to invest money into them, and then he will lose them again. And that happens over and over again. In this situation, you can't really get any one of them to level 2, and all your money has to be reinvested into rebuilding the stuff you lose. Men can't win from this point. Are we watching the same game? I don't know if you are watching the same game or not. Maybe you're right. Who knows? Hey Yoda, welcome. Glad to see you around. They've also lords on the field, and that's the money from Devastation, boys. Devastation helped because if you are wondering how can Isengard with like 300 command points only recruit units, and also at the same time the two heroes, Lurtz and Sharku, Devastation is the answer. And the thing is, the more levels they get, the more stronger they will become. So level 5, massive power spike, he's like, WTF, where do you get the money? And yeah, you see, that's the thing. And I'm also telling you guys, I believe the money boost, they may, oh, actually you're right. GG, Abe is gonna leave the game for whatever reason. Why is he leaving the game like that? And the Angmar mirror match on a map like this can be quite long, I hope. I will, you know, what I want to see in a mirror match, what is going to be the game-breaking point in which the one faction is going to have a huge advantage. Now, when we talk about this matchup, Angmar has a lot of options too, like Mordor has the chance to go for Wolfdan early game, to get Wolf Riders for harassment, to spam Thrallmaster from Double Hall of the Kingsmen. Hobbling, thank you so much for the follow, appreciate it. I just wanted to look at your download tutorials, but they got taken down by YouTube. They are forbidden, unfortunately, even though the games are abandoned, but YouTube says you are not allowed to share free download of video games in my site, so they removed them, and I even got a strike for that, so I cannot re-upload them, unfortunately. So if you want to have help to install the games, the best place to do that, to get the help, is actually in our Discord. Okay, we see multiple mills opening for blue. And the red one is doing pretty much the same thing, man. Eco spam. 4 mills, Hall of the Kingsmen. You see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mills. And no production building. These guys are greedy. He's gonna now build the Hall of the Kingsmen. And that's the thing. Now we will reach a point of the game in which the people, they should be rich, right? They should have a lot of money. And every choice they make from this point on is going to determine who is going to be winning this mirror match. Again, playing a mirror match on a neutral host is, you know, the most balanced thing you can get. And he's gonna build now the second Hall of the Kingsmen. That's already a difference. For example, he could also get the Wolfdan on the field, which I believe can be also very nice because it gives you the chance to get mobile units up on the field. And you see, the one player is going for the second Hall of the Kingsmen, the other player is going for the Wolfdan. And later on, heroes like Voldor could have a crazy impact too, when you think about it, you know. And what also can be very nice is actually, like, I don't know, like Rogash, Witch King, hell, even Sorcerers could be nice. He's gonna build also the Hall of the Kingsmen number 2. So it's lots of spam, spam, spam. He's gonna creep this. And, you know, they're actually doing pretty much the same thing now. 2 Hall of the Kingsmen into the Wolfdan, 2 Hall of the Kingsmen into the Wolfdan. I still believe that Vold is gonna be a good investment too, especially early game when you have this Hillman units from the Thrallmaster. You can make all of them, beside the Gundabad Orcs, stronger with Voldor being around them, and also very good hero besides that. You know, it's one of the better sportive heroes in the game. Definitely has the pillage, which can make you money. Hoblin, thanks for the primers for the first time subbing to the channel. Really means a lot. Thank you, thank you. Right after the follow, really means a lot. Thank you, my friend.
Hoblinkar just subscribed. Welcome to Beyond Standards crew.
Appreciate the support. Thank you, good sir. Okay, so we have 450 command points against 500 in the bank. He's gonna creep this. I mean, it's gonna be one for one. Maybe he might be able to steal the money. Let's see. Who's going to be the real pirate? Oh, they're gonna share like brothers. They're gonna share like brothers. But also at the same time, Abe was able to creep this Warg layer next to him. So they are kind of even. It's like 1.5 to 1.5 creeps, as Sauron was able to steal 50% of the money. And what is this, man? Hall of the Kingsmen number 3. Oh my goodness, man. Spam, spam, spam fiesta. My bet's on Angmar. This guy likes security in his life, you know. Okay. Beautiful trample, beautiful. And the red Angmar player is able to dominate the fight. It's good, because now he has the chance to go for a big push. Nobody was using Warchan during this battle, and there comes the big counterplay though, the counter push. And here's Pikemen and Gundabad Orcs. So the Pikemen can be killed by the Wolfpacks in a few seconds. There comes the transformation into the Gundabad Orcs. It's gonna be a 3 to 3v7 situation. So at this point of the game, when you see this, when you are finding yourself in a situation like that as Sauron, but all you gotta do is just focus on the buildings, because that's a fight you cannot win. The extroverts are gonna kill you in a few seconds. So there is no point of trying to fight them back. Just focus on the buildings, and that's exactly what you should be doing. The questionable move from Abe was to use the war chant defensively. I don't think it was needed. I think he had enough extroverts to defend this without using the war chant, because then you could hold it and use it when you push him back, you understand? Like, imagine this army now, you push it back to this location and you use war chant, and you have the war chant advantage. That's gonna be big, but it's not gonna happen. Should be able to defend this, no problemo. Abe is not paying attention to his pikemen. They will get killed by the Gundabad orcs, and we have no heroes so far. After the first couple of minutes into the game, Sauron is up to 4 power points in total. He's at around 550 command points, and his opponent is up to 650 command points, and he has also 4 power points in the bank. So Abe was expanding a little bit more in compared to Sauron, and power points are looking pretty much identical. We have also the chance later on to see some Black Numenorians, but look at that. You know, Sauron not only getting 3 Hall of the Kingsmen, but he's gonna be the first one who's gonna get his Hall of the Kingsmen to level 3. Because Abe doesn't get it to level 3, he wanna get Black Numenorians up on the field. They got buffed this patch, remember? They are way stronger, but they're also now more expensive. They cost 500 each. That's a huge army, by the way. Holy guacamole. I mean, what is the point of the Wolf then if you never use it? I've never seen Wolf Riders coming from from Sauron. Oh, this is gonna hurt, man. He needs Wolf Riders, bro. Like, Wolf Riders, I'm telling you. There is only one pikeman. You can avoid the pikeman and just trample the rest. But he doesn't want to get any Wolf Riders on the field, for whatever reason. I don't get it. And also building the Troll Stone Thrower, which is also very questionable in my opinion. There is a small counter push happening, but they are not even paying attention. Sauron is actually kind of lazy today, I don't know what's happening. The mill is going to be taken down. And that's the push, I'm telling you boys. That's the push which gonna hurt, because the eco is getting kind of smashed. Look at this. There is another wave coming. The mill is gonna be taken down right after. And I genuinely cannot understand why would you build the wolf den, but yet you never ever turn into any wolf rider, your Trollmaster. That's a very questionable move. Again, no pikemen. Imagine if you would have like 2-3 wolf riders here, it would be quite GG. There comes the commitment. The rangers are actually very strong, but you need to make sure to protect them. In the meantime, the counterattack, the mill is going to be taken down, but also the blue Angmar player is actually losing a lot of map control. Luckily, on a map like this doesn't mean the end of the game, because it's a big map. He has even 3 mills only around this area, so he's getting enough money, he's getting enough command points to keep playing the game even after a catastrophic, you know, fight. There comes the war chant from both the people, from both the players. The rangers are, you know, hitting like a truck, but again, Wolf Riders will get them knocked down on the ground. They will get killed in a few seconds. And the mobility advantage is coming in handy, and he will be able to disengage. No problemo. 525 command points versus 575 command points. Abe is slightly ahead in the command points department, and he didn't also go for the Fairwind, which means with 10 power points you will get the chance to summon the orcs right on top of your rangers, and you not having any wolf riders on the field can't deal with them quickly enough. There comes the Black Numenorian too. They got buff level to the Death Mask to nerf the enemy units nearby. 10 power points in the bank. Almost level 2 though, with the long shot. He's feeding a lot of power points. There comes the counter push. He's moving from the right side, but there is another army coming from the middle. And Black Numenorians are not easy to be dealt with, unlike the Rangers. One trample to rule them all. Actually, with the 10 power point now, with the Orc Summon, he has the chance to deal a lot of damage to his opponent. I mean, I think that's going to be the best choice. You can go for the Frozen Land too, which you shouldn't. There comes the Orc Summon. Where did he use it though? He's gonna use it defensively. He's gonna protect this area. He's gonna use that I mean, that's a very questionable move from Abe too. Like, again, not too many units. Like, what? 2 units. Extrova and Gundabad Orc. There is no reason to use that Orc Summon. That's like the worst case scenario, by the way. He just inted all his fleet for no reason. He lost the builder too, and it kind of wasted 10 power points. Very smart move from Sauron. He's dragging the units right at the corner of the map. So that means if they deal with that, all the amount of time they have left in Middle Earth will be kind of very slow, very low when they have to move all the way to this location. They will be almost gone, you know? That's a questionable move from
I will
Avi.
represent the men of Gondor.
I think it would be much wiser to actually use it offensively. Thank you so much for the follow, Mike. Appreciate it. Okay, 650 command points versus 725 command points. It's actually kind of evenish. But I cannot believe that Avi kind of entered his lead like that. He's gonna push now with 2 Black Numenorians, Pikemen, Wolfpacks, 3 Black Numenorians actually. They are very strong. And again, he doesn't even need Pikemen because the Angmar player Sauron doesn't even bother recruiting any cavalry units all game long. This map requires a lot of micro and macro. I mean, more macro than micro actually. Expanding offensively, but also at the same time, you know, scouting the entire map, making sure to kill the enemy structures is essential when you want to get the W in a map like this. And Avi is doing a good job now scouting, finding those mills and killing them, destroying them. He has actually not many rangers, only 1 ranger or 2 rangers. That's not enough. You know, you need more than that to kill those Black Numenorians. And very smart move from, look at this, they're going ham. Okay, does he have banner? Yeah, okay, I was wondering why they are level 2. I mean, banner upgrade is actually very valuable for Angmar faction, right? Because you can get your Black Numenorians and Rangers, you can give them like a huge power spike. The Felvin is available. There comes the Felvin from Avi and sucking in those Rangers, but there comes the counter Felvin. He went for the Untamed Allegiance on this one. That's very questionable. Hey Gene, welcome. Glad to see you around. I'm doing fine, thank you very much for asking. I hope you're also doing fine. We have right now the finals of the losers brackets. In the game number 5, the score is dead even, as you can see at the top side of your screen. It's a best of 7 though. I mean, the winner of this game is not going to be the winner of the series yet. We will have at least 1 more game after this one. This one is looking pretty good for Avi. As you can see in the minimap, Avi is expanding much better. He's up to 700 command points against 575. This is kind of very questionable. It won't actually give too much value to Sauron, as he's about to lose this. And the troll will make it out and eventually get killed right after from the pikeman. Yeah, he's running inting his way. That's minus 400 for Sauron too. Very unfortunate. And Untamed Allegiance, you know, I don't know, man. It's 10 power points too. I get it. You cannot make this 5 power point. It would be just crazy OP. Imagine you have Untamed Allegiance at the beginning of the game. You can literally control a layer right at the beginning. So making it 5 power point would be out of question. It would be kind of crazy broken. But for Angmar especially, it's not valuable because after you lose all the creeps on the map, all the thing you can do with that is you can use it on the Wolf Den for 75% faster production speed, which is kind of meh. The map is looking phenomenal for Avi. I mean, he has such a huge lead now at this point. He has the full map under his control beside a couple of areas, which he will also get under his control very soon. We have 3 rangers, 1, 2, 3, 4 rangers actually on the field. One of them is level 1 the damage, but he has purchased the banner upgrade. Or he's about to purchase the banner upgrade. He has like a ranger army, but at this point it's also very important to protect your army. And what the Angmar player here can do is get this to level 2 and recruit some snow trolls. And they can wipe out those rangers in a few seconds. Yes, Black Numenorians are strong, but they have no chance against 5. Dodge. Look, smart move from Avi. He's gonna use whole ground stance. You see, he was using the second long shot into the dodge area from Sauron. Very smart move actually. 13, almost 14 power points in the bank for Avi. He will get the chance very soon to get the giants up on the field. There comes the first Wolf Rider battalion. First, from the Angmar player Sauron. He was trying to play without them all game long. I mean, he has a lot of rangers, but I don't think they can ever reach to the giants when they summoned behind. How many power points does he have? He's only at almost 10 power points, so he has the chance to freeze the fortress with the snowbind, which will buy him some time. But that's about it, as the giants are coming now from the summon. Let the siege begin, boys. The basketball players, Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. Do it. Kobe! The white summon will be used defensively from Sauron. There comes the... But you can't Felvin them? Did you guys see that? Huh? I'm confused. He just fell with them and nothing happened to them. Did you guys see that? We have the red Angmar player Avi against the blue goblin player Sauron, which is definitely a favorable matchup, or which used to be a favorable matchup for the Angmar faction. And remember, we are on the map Plains of Linden, so it's a pretty small map, pretty small map. And again, the power of the goblin faction lies in bigger maps, you know, like on a map like Jungles of Farharat, for example. It could be maybe a playable matchup, but I believe, at least that's my belief, in smaller maps you have less a chance to win the game. Two tunnels into the Goblin Cave, into the third tunnel. On the other side we see 2 mills, all of the Kingsmen into the third mill. And you know, there are obvious reasons why this matchup is kind of bad. Early game Trollmasters are almost as cost efficient as your goblins, and again, they can turn into any units you want. They can be Wolf Riders to trample you down. Big Boy Glue for 10 months. Thank you so much, Big Boy, for the support. For 10 months, my man. Appreciate it. Really means a lot.
Big Boy Glue just resubscribed for 10 months. Ahoy.
Thank you very much, my friend. It's gonna cancel this actually. And later on, in the mid game, you have the chance to go for Karsh, which is a crazy counter to the goblins because of the chill soul ability. And then you have, I don't know, like Shirob, I don't know, like you have Morgomia, you have Black Numenorians being buffed in this version, you have Dark Rangers being kind of buffed in this version. Yeah, you know, basically you have a lot of ways to deal with that, because what goblins are struggling against the most are cavalry, and also there you have the Snow Trolls. You know, Snow Trolls are one of the tankiest cavalry units in the game. They cost 650, but they are definitely worth the price, and goblins have like no counter, really counter to, as a pikeman, to the cavalry units, because the pikemen of goblins, they cannot have the revenge damage. They are immune to be trampled, which is actually a bad thing. And we will have 2 goblin caves into the fissure. So the plan is to play a bit more defensively. I see he's building 4 tunnels around the own fortress, which is very defensive for the goblin playstyle. Normally normally when you see goblins, they try to go for like offensive push. It's gonna be a 2v1 situation. The only good thing about goblins is they are very mobile, so they can catch up to any other unit in the game. The Swordman of goblins, very mobile, saying die now. He's saying no. I mean, at least what has changed though? They couldn't catch up to them for some reason, I don't know. In the meantime, we have 2 all of the Kingsmen, and the Wolf Den will give you the chance to transform your Trollmaster into the Wolf Riders. Keep it in mind. No standing around. The builder. He's losing this 2v1, kinda. I mean, the Warg is helping also, but still. Warg is MVP though. One more bite. Not even close, baby. Yeah. He's saying son. But you are my daddy. If the half-troll swordmen now, that's gonna be a different story. Of course, they are stronger, but I believe that's the main problem, right? Because even your swordmen are gonna be outskilled by the Black Numenorians. I believe Black Numenorians are better in fighting against swordmen in compared to half-troll swordmen. Half-troll swordmen are actually not bad. They are very good. But they are no match against Black Numenorians. And no Wolf Den yet, so it's gonna be a spam of Trollmaster. The goblins are able to catch up to them, but you need to try to kill this dude behind. That's your primary goal. When you kill him, you kill the full battalion. In the meantime, this tunnel might be in trouble. He's getting a lot of goblins. Warchan is available for both the people, for both the players, but he needs half-troll swordmen around this area. I mean, they are slower than goblin warriors, so they cannot keep up with the speed. Should be able to defend this no problemo. Yeah. But this one is gonna be maybe taken down, maybe? He's trying to body block nicely and might be able to defend this too. Yeah, should be able to defend this now. I mean, here's not Black Numenorians, the half-troll swordmen inside too. Is he use Warchant for defense. We have also 2 battalions of extroverts, and I believe at some point of the game you need Spider Riders, you know. Remember, they got buffed this version, and Angmar has no pikemen at this point, and you can punish him for that. After the first couple of minutes into the game, Sauron is up to 500 command points, and his opponent is up to 600 command points, so slight advantage in the command points department, but it's nothing game changing, because one push can literally make it even again. And remember, the Angmar player was using Warchant defensively. The half-trolls will still be able to destroy this mill which is very good for them. They are almost level 2, which can give them the charge attack potential. The extroverts are killing them though very quickly, and you have no disengage potential too because they are kind of slowish, the half trolls. But there comes the big war chant counterplay. The mill is going to be taken down, and the most important mill is going to be this one. But there comes the wolf rider, which can counter this goblins. It can't counter really hardcore this half troll swordmen because they are also immune to trample, like the half troll pikemen. But you can definitely trample down the goblins. But you need to be fast though, because this is going to be destroyed, and if you don't pay attention, you will also lose this one behind. You need to try to defend the one which you can defend, which is this one behind, and that's going to be the play from the Angmar player ROTWK. We have now the half troll swordmen against Black Numenorians, but they are buffed, keep that in mind, from the war chant. So they are slightly stronger, and the power spike from the Black Numenorians is going to be level 2, because not only they will get the chance to get the charge attack unlocked, but also the death mask for the debuff. But even without it, they are kind of winning against half troll swordmen, as you can see. Again, they are the better swordmen. And I don't know, I mean, this matchup, I don't know what has changed. Again, I have not taken a look into the changelog myself. I haven't read the changes they did to the goblin faction. I know, for example, they buffed Shelob, but I don't know what they changed else about the goblins. But I've seen the changes to Angmar. The Black Numenorians buff is actually pretty significant, and you know, alone this buff, I don't know how impactful this is going to be in this matchup. It's going to be definitely making the matchup harder. Esme, thanks for the first time subbing the primers. Really means a lot.
Esmichaelon just subscribed. Welcome to Beyond Standards crew.
Thank you very much, my friend, for the first time subbing to the channel. Really means a lot to me. Thank you. Okay. Angmar is kind of in a good spot, but goblins are kind of holding themselves too. 625 command points against 625 command points. It's literally dead even. Spider Pit now into level 2 for the Spider Riders. And we have level 2 here. He might also buy the banner, which also, by the way, is like a crazy strong thing about the Angmar faction. The tunnel is going to be taken down or demolished. The builder couldn't make it inside and will be paying with his life for that mystique. Okay. Spiderlings on the field. Spiderlings can counter the Wolf Riders though, if you don't know. But Spider Riders are also better than the Wolf Riders, of course. You know what, that's kind of crazy building, because look what you are able to do here in this building. You can recruit the Trollmaster, which is one of the best early game units, because it's the one unit to rule them all, to transfer them all into any unit you need. Then you have the stronger Swordmen, stronger Archers, and the chance to get them banner too, right? They will get a huge, massive power spike from level 1 to level 2. Many Angmar units actually, Black Numenorians, Dark Rangers, but also the Snow Trolls get a huge boost when they get level 2. Okay, Spider Riders. What? How many Spider Riders did he kill with one Black Numenorian, man? What? He killed like 2 Spider Riders with one Black Numenorian. Okay, the mill has been taken down. I mean, goblins are actually kind of doing a good job in terms of, you know, harassing the economy. But take a look into the minimap, boys. We see like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mills right in the middle of the map, which is a good and also a bad thing at the same time, because as they are far away from your side of the map, from your production buildings, they will be also hard to defend. But the good thing is, if the goblin player can't find them and doesn't know that they are there, he cannot destroy them either, you know. Expanding offensively is surprisingly good in this game, because when you play against lazy people, they will always attack your fortress and everything around your fortress. So they won't be discovering or scouting the entire map for some potential resource buildings, which they definitely should. And he will be able to find this one. We have Black Numenorians, 2 of them, and again they are actually murdering this half-troll swordmen. They don't even stand a chance against them. 7 power points in the bank for Goblin player, and we have 4 power points after the Orc Summon, which will be now used. But remember, the War Chant is on cooldown. The Orc Summon, they have also the Horde bonus. You can see them glowing when they are together. They deal a bit more damage, but he's gonna split them up a little bit now. They should be just trampling down. Yeah, just trample them. It's much better. There are no pikemen. The tunnel is gonna be unfortunately taken down though. Maybe? Nah, maybe not. Okay, beautiful trample. And again, it's good for goblins though, because the Angmar player was investing 10 power points to kill one tunnel only. That's perfect. That's a trade you should be taking every day of the week. You deal with 10 power points in exchange to lose 1 tunnel level 1. It's a good trade. But it's about the speed too, because that gives Angmar the chance to kind of have more momentum in the mid map, in the middle of the map, and now he can kind of organize his next big push. Wolf Riders up on the field. Spider Riders can also counter them. But that's gonna be a dangerous push. The builder from Sauron is paying it. No, that's the second builder. He's losing within the last 60 seconds. And against Goblin, I mean, every faction needs builders, but Goblins need them more than any other faction. There comes the Felwind, but I don't know why. I mean, there is no real follow-up. Black Numenorians are running for their lives. They are being kind of sandwiched though, the Spider Riders. And again, unlike the Angmar faction, Goblins, they cannot buy banner from a production building. They need to build actually the armory for it. Okay. I mean, outclassed. They are getting body blocked with Spider Riders. Be careful. He has 3 of them. But needs more than that. The Goblin player will be able to defend this attack eventually with the half-troll Swordman and Goblin spam. But there are too many mills in the middle, man. Level almost 2. This one is also getting close to level 2. This one is almost level 2 as well. Like multiple mills in the middle, which are there now for a long duration. And that's something the Goblin player doesn't have. He has like 0 resource buildings beside the ones he has around his own fortress. There comes the big push. Spider allies will be summoned finally to kill those mills in the middle. He needs to destroy so many of them. Like he needs to scout. And that might maybe be enough to bring him back to the game. They are being buffed. There's also the look this Black Numenorians. I mean the half-troll Swordmen. They're supposed to be tanky, but they have no chance against Black Numenorians, dude. It's not even close. They're getting slaughtered. The spiders are coming. They are not. They will be able to find this mill too. They're gonna turn in now to fight against the Wolf Riders. The Wolf Riders maybe shouldn't fight this. Yeah. Kill this Trollmaster and you are good to go. He will be able to defend this though. Oh, he lost 1 battalion. Maybe the second one? Yeah, you see how effective it is when you kill this Trollmaster units? You will also be able to save this mill. But still a good... I mean, this Spider Summon was much better when we compare it to the Orc Summon from the Angmar player. Much better. The good thing about the Angmar power points though, it will lead you to the Giant Summon later on. And I believe when you have like a very strong frontline with the Black Numenorians, couple of Pikemen and Wolf Riders body blocking the Giants, it's very hard for the Goblins to deal with them. Because remember, the Goblins have really not good archers, so they have like no range damage. All their damage output in most cases are coming from the melee fighters, you know, like Spider Riders can also shoot, but they don't deal too much damage either. And I don't think you can kill the Giants with normal Spider Riders from a long range fast enough before they can take down your fortress. And there comes one of the obvious counters to the Goblin spam, and that's gonna be Karsh, who's passively killing every Goblin around him. Level 2 almost, instantly. I mean, the Goblin player is kind of pushing now back. Should be able to finish this one though. Like, but he can't. Angmar player will be just in time there. This mid is gonna be also taken down, almost level 2. But are we just spamming resource buildings? And I believe spamming resource buildings in this game is also pretty strong, you know? Okay, the builder. Oh, Sauron, what are you doing with your builders, my friend? Oh man, Sauron. 3 builders. 3 rings to the death builders. Karsh is coming. He's so cool, man. He's flying. He doesn't have feet. Okay. Don't lose the builder again. That's from Avi actually. He's body blocking with the half-troll Swordman. But you know, with Karsh, the longer the fight goes on, the better it is for Karsh. Because he can deal damage non-stop. He needs to be just around the enemy units. And they're always poisoned. The damage against half-troll Swordman is not that great, but again, the longer the fight goes on, the more effective the Chill Soul is gonna become, because they will take damage over time as long as Karsh is alive and nearby. The mill level 3, destroy it maybe? No? Dude, you was just passing by, what the heck? Level 4, level 2, there comes the Giant Summon. And I was talking about that. Now the question, can you, but he has no protection this time. Maybe the Spider Riders can kill the Giants. There comes the Viper of Dunlin Summon from the Goblin player, but the Trample, you see, that's what I'm talking about. The archers, the Goblin archers are dealing no damage to the Giants. You see that? So you need melee attackers. The White Men are dealing good amount of damage, but your archers they are no threat to him. Maybe he can defend this, maybe. Azog is murdering him though. Azog. Yeah, Azog is killing him quite fast. But again, that's the problem. Like, the problem from Abe, it was like he was kind of rushing it too much. He doesn't need to do that. He should have, he should just wait for this army to arrive and then summon that in combination with this army. And the giants should be in a good spot. Because your range damage is so bad against summons, including giants, that when you can't get to them with your melee fighters, they will just end your game, end your fortress, destroy it. 725 command points for goblins though. I mean, again, he has a couple of level 3 tunnels. The orc summon will be used for the second time. The spiders are on cooldown. That's gonna be a big commitment against the fortress. But the good thing about the goblin fortress, let's talk about the good things. You can build those expansions, they have like crazy build speed. They can be built up in like few seconds. Beautiful trample with the spider riders, mainly, but it's not gonna be enough as the fortress from the goblin town goes down. Down the goblin town. What a fiesta, what a massacre, man. Holy guacamole. I mean, without the fortress, you don't really have a chance, because look at the money from the goblin player. He is so far away from getting to the point in which he can eventually rebuild the fortress. He needs 5,000, dude. I mean, here's a builder who's building a fissure, and I believe he has the only one builder. There comes a tower from Ave, just for the memes. This dude is level 7, by the way. Holy guacamole. That's also something you don't see very often. And he has also very good skilling with the level 10 or level 8. Whisper of Death. It can chunk heroes big time. And I would like to see that against Azog. When Azog is full HP, I want to see the Whisper of Death, how much damage it would deal to a hero like Azog, who is also a very strong sword fighter. But Karsh though, Karsh, the ghost the Casper. I mean, you know, I know, everybody knows the importance of the PowerPoints, and we know how they can easily turn a lost game into a won game and a won game into a lost game. Even if he would have a lead, which he didn't have really in the entire game, losing the fortress is a huge down thing, you know, unless you have like crazy map control and you have like a lot of money to instantly rebuild it instantly. But again, look the money from him, you know, he has 1,000 plus, 4,000 away. Karsh getting stronger and stronger and stronger. He has now almost 4k health, 320 melee damage, but that's not calculating the damage. The damage is outputting with the Chill Soul, slowing them down that they can't get away from you. There comes the Frozen Land from the Engma player for leadership and slowing down the enemy units. It's about slowing them. It's about making them weaker. He's gonna try to defend this. Karsh getting level almost 8. Azog, we can't get the chance to see the Whisper of Death because Azog is not gonna be he's gonna get actually away. Maybe we're gonna get him level 8. I wanna see that. There comes the Fellwind on the Spider Riders. The Pikemen were not able to get in the range though. And Azog really close to level 8. I mean not Azog, Karsh. But Azog's gonna die now to Karsh. Won't he? Level 8? Use the Whisper of Death. Maybe you don't need to because he's almost dead. You need like one hit. He's gonna use it anyway. Watch this. He's gonna use it anyway. He's gonna die to the Chill Soul, by the way. Before he can use it, he will die to the Chill Soul. Yeah, he died to the Chill Soul from the passive. Dude, the poison, yeah. The poison, he died to the poison damage from Karsh. Okay? The last few seconds, and Ave is going to kick Sauron to the 3rd spot and move himself to the grand finals against ROTWK for his revenge potential. So we have seen already Ave against ROTWK in the semi-finals.